Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Dear viewers, France is a secular country where, according to the constitution, religious freedom is officially protected. However, in today's time, it is considered among those countries that put the most pressure on Muslims because of their faith. According to a report issued by the French Ministry of Interior in 2016, the number of Muslims in France was around 6 million, which is roughly 10% of the total population. In comparison, the total Jewish population in France is only about zero point 0.6 million, which makes up barely 1% of the total population. Yet, the French government seems to be heavily influenced by these 1% Jews, and many decisions appear to be made mainly to please the Jewish community. But despite all governmental pressure and the so called secular system, Islam has become the fastest growing religion in France. Even with the state restrictions, many French people are embracing Islam. Among those fortunate people is Angelique, a woman who accepted Islam and whose Islamic name is now Yasmin Angelique. After embracing Islam, she feels so frightened by the negative attitudes of her other French relatives that she even fears meeting them. So let's listen to Angelique's story in her own words. But before we continue the video, a small request. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so now so that our upcoming videos can keep reaching you regularly. Jazakumullah khair.
I'm 27 years old and was born in the city of Montpellier, France. I'm a French citizen, though my parents were not purely French. My father was born in Malaga, Spain, and worked in the construction field. My mother was Algerian by origin. She moved to France with her family after the Algerian War. So basically, my parents came from two different countries and settled here in France. My father started his career as a carpenter, but when the economic crisis hit, he switched to construction work. My mother worked in school administration, and I have one sister who's 5 years older than me. Financially, we weren't very strong. We were a simple, low-income family living a modest life. But despite the hardships, our family bond was very strong and full of love. My first connection with Islam began while I was babysitting for a Muslim family. That family was incredibly kind and soft-hearted. I liked them immediately, and soon I began to admire their lifestyle. As I spent more time with them, my love and curiosity for Islam grew quickly. I started learning little by little, and honestly, I found this religion beautiful. I wasn't Muslim yet, but I started following some Islamic practices. I became very close to the woman of that family. She became my best friend. During Ramadan and Eid, I always stayed with her like part of the family. Through her, my relationship with Islam deepened. I even started fasting. Though in the beginning, I couldn't complete full fasts. Eventually, I kept all my fasts once. And even though it was tiring, it felt amazing. I admired Muslims. I found them genuine, disciplined, and peaceful. Still, I wasn't ready to take the final step, so I began studying Islam seriously. I learned about what's halal and haram, about the sunnah and the obligations. Islam kept pulling me closer, and my love for it grew day by day. One day I met Ismail on a website. He later became a close friend, and he helped me a lot in understanding Islam. Whenever he explained something about Islam, I was deeply impressed, not only with the religion, but with his personality as well. One day, Ismail told me that he wanted to marry me, but he said, I can only marry a Muslim woman. So I told him, then I'm ready to accept Islam. Alhamdulillah, I embraced Islam, and soon after we got married. Before accepting Islam, I thought about it deeply. After meeting Ismail and learning from him, my heart was convinced. He spoke to his family, got their approval, and we had a beautiful nikah. I went to an imam's office, took my shahada, and recited the kalima. That's when I chose my new name, Yasmin. After embracing Islam, I completely rebuilt my life from scratch. I started learning about my new faith and began to pray regularly. My husband supported me every step of the way. I even joined a learning course where I went every Monday. But my sister, my father, and the rest of my family were totally against it. They didn't like what I was doing. They couldn't understand me. But despite that, I felt better than ever. When I was Christian, I was always sick and weak. After becoming Muslim, I stopped falling ill. I felt stronger, calmer, and full of energy. Sadly, my father and sister couldn't see that change. They stopped meeting me altogether. When I became Muslim, my family completely rejected me. At first, they refused to talk or even see me. But I stayed firm, holding tightly to the rope of Allah. Islam is a complete and free system of life that gives meaning to a person's existence. Freedom of faith and worship are basic human rights. And whoever chooses a religion has every right to learn it, practice it, and spread it. I kept studying, asking questions, and learning more. I attended women's Islamic courses, and that's where I met other French women who had also accepted Islam. In the beginning, I didn't wear hijab, and Ismail never pressured me. He said, wear it when you feel ready. And I did exactly that. I never do things halfway, so when I accepted Islam, I gave it my all. Alhamdulillah, I made Islam the center of my life. Of course, the start was hard. My family turned away from me, and it broke my heart. But with time, they softened a little. They saw how Muslims live, with discipline, peace, and kindness. Now we meet and talk sometimes. They've seen our home and how we live Islamically. But still, they haven't fully accepted us. They're confused, unsure. But we keep trying to show them the truth. Like my husband Ismail, I also feel sad that Islam is portrayed so negatively in France. I just wish people would put aside their prejudice and see what Islam truly is. Now that I practice Islam, I feel happier and more peaceful than ever. I only want people to respect my choice and accept me as I am. Unfortunately, people see us through a lens of bias, but I'm proud and happy following my religion. This is my life, my faith, my decision. The peace I found in Islam, I never found it in Christianity. Muslims are kind, gentle, and respectful to people of other faiths. They invite others to Islam with love, not hate. Many people, after meeting Muslims, say they're such polite people. Are all Muslims like this? And that's when they realize Islam is not terrorism, it's truth. Alhamdulillah, I finally found that peace that I was searching for all my life. Muslims are supportive of each other, and that makes me feel safe. The environment here is so much more peaceful compared to French society. Yes, Allah has tested me in many ways, but through these trials, I've only grown stronger. I'm learning things I never knew before. When people see me in hijab, they think I'm under my husband's control, but the truth is I wear it purely for the sake of Allah. I want to say Islam is a complete code of life. It organizes every part of human existence. Whoever follows it succeeds in this world and the hereafter. After accepting Islam, I shape my life according to Allah's rules. So much changed, alhamdulillah. Now my life is organized and purposeful. Before I had no direction, but now I live with meaning. For example, when we went to Morocco, I fasted there for 2 days. On Eid Day, I suddenly felt a strong desire to wear hijab. It came straight from my heart, for Allah and also out of respect for my in-laws. When I removed my hijab at home, I felt naked. So I prayed istikhara to ask Allah if I should start wearing it permanently. After praying, my heart felt light, and my husband gently encouraged me. That's how I began wearing hijab, and I never stopped. The first time I went to Morocco was during Ramadan. When I returned, I stayed with my in-laws and lived in a completely Islamic environment. But whenever I went back to my father's home, I felt uneasy. Returning to that French lifestyle made me uncomfortable. I couldn't tell my father this, so I kept it inside. That Ramadan came in summer, and I never felt like going to rivers or beaches anymore. I dressed modestly. My sister noticed and said it was because of my religion, and she was right. It was hard to go from halal to haram surroundings again. At my in-laws' home, I had peace. But at my father's, there was alcohol, pork, laughter at everything. I found that lifestyle dirty and meaningless. Even now, my grandmother and aunt don't like to see me. In short, after becoming Muslim, spending time with my family became difficult and dull. But I know this life is temporary, and whatever we do here is a preparation for the hereafter. Yet sadly, even knowing this truth, most of us still ignore it because of laziness and heedlessness.